Well, that was really obviously gut-wrenching loss against a very good team. I thought that, give them credit, the way they battled back. We had leads multiple times in the first and second half, and they kept fighting back. But I take full responsibility. I did not do a good enough job managing our minutes, getting enough minutes again for Tyson and for Robert in the second half, and it really hurt us as the game wore on. And, so it's, fully starts right here with me. That I didn't do as good a job as I needed to do, and again, credit their guys. I mean, Naz Reid was fantastic. I thought that he had a phenomenal second half, and they really did a good job getting him the ball. He had 22 in the second half, and I thought Waters obviously was fantastic tonight, and really played well for him. No, I think it's I got that wrong. How many do you have at halftime?
Reed had 25 in the second half and overtime combined. Yeah. Go ahead and get it to Steve here in the back.
Coach, the mad scramble at the end of regulation, Lamar gets loose there. Did you consider taking a timeout there, or are you just more comfortable letting them in the flow of the game?
In that situation right there, we were going downhill to the basket. I thought there was a chance before they got their defense set, with the game tied, that we could get to the basket and get one up there and maybe have a tap in at it, where it's a mad scramble. And so, rolled the dice. I knew we had a timeout left.
We'll keep it in the back with the cameras to Coach's left.
Coach, it felt like a couple times this year where you've had leads going into halftime, leads early in the second half, but then teams come back. Is it more of a competition thing, or is it the managing minutes? What is going through your mind with things?
Yeah, I don't know if it's time and time again. I mean, but part of it is that they're really good. LSU is a very good team, who's right there, one game out of first place in our league right now, and very talented. But some of it definitely is the minutes, and some of it we took some shots. I thought at times, especially when we had a 8-9 point lead, where we want to maybe manage them a little better and not be in such a rush.
Lamar scoreless tonight. What were they doing defensively against him? Anything differently?
Nothing really. I mean, he's had an issue with his wrist that he hurt against Alabama, and it's bothered him to where he hasn't been able to do a lot of shooting because it's a sprain, and so that's really been the issue for him.
Go to the gentleman in the second row here.
Coach, you guys had 4 turnovers early in the first half. Would you say the team was a little sluggish?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was sluggish, but what we were doing, we were trying to drive, and Waters is sitting right there in the lane, and Waters is not going with his man. He's just coming and hawking to the ball, coming right to the ball, and I think he had probably 3 steals there early, where they were all just him attacking anybody who was in his area, and so give him credit. He had 5 steals tonight. Really played a heck of a game, and we had, I think, a lead 66-60, and he had a step back 3. I mean, he made a lot of big plays for him when we had a chance to kind of stretch it out a little bit.
On the topic of minutes, Robert only played 2 in the second half. Is that because the game's not really getting away from you? Obviously, it was close the whole time, so you don't really dislike what's going on, or how does it happen?
What the problem was is it was hard to take Q out because he was the one guy that really had it going offensively. And I still should have gave him a little blow. But when we were playing Robert at the 4, it was hard at times because they were so big. And, in other words, they were with 6'11" and 6'10". And he's been playing a lot there for us as a stretch 4, meaning guarding guys that are more perimeter-oriented than inside guys like Bigby Williams and Reed tonight. When he was in there in the beginning of the second half, he was matched up on 22 days there for a few minutes.
Coach talked about Reed, and I think he said 25 in the second half and overtime combined. When you see a player get going like that, you kind of see it coming before it happens, and when it is happening, I guess what's going through your mind when you see a player get that hot, like Reed and Waters for that matter too.
Yeah, I mean, and credit both those kids. I mean, Reed is a heck of a player, and he had the big play. We had the lead, and I think when we lost the ball, and I haven't seen that, I have no idea when the ball went out of bounds. You guys tell me. I mean, was that off on them or us?
Real close. It was real close.
Yeah. Huh?
It was off Q's leg.
It was. So it's the correct call. Yeah. Well, and then they had all that time, they called a quick little hitter that got Reed open on a little back screen. That was a huge play right there, a quick turnaround, because we had the ball up one, didn't get up a shot, and then turns around and they get the ball. And then Reed's shot that went in at the end, I mean, if it hits the front and rolls forward, but we got to make him bounce that. We can't let him get off that shot. We got to be up on him.
Coach Eric Coleman had a couple of tough games tonight, double digits and 4 for 4 from the line. What were you kind of seeing from him tonight to see him get back in the flow?
Yeah, I thought he did a good job. Eric did a good job, and he got on the offensive glass. It was a tough call that went against him, I think, at the end of regulation, where he got the warding off call, where, Q hit him and he drove it. And, I'll have to watch those to be able to evaluate him.
We've got questions for Coach. We'll go ahead and get it to the gentleman over here.
Coach, it seemed like they were doing a hot pick and roll with the big and Tremont. What were you telling the guys? It seemed like they were doing it every play.
Yeah, and we were trying to keep Tremont over to going to his left. That was our game plan going into today, and try to jump over. And they were screening for the screener, and so sometimes we were getting a little bit late, and we were trying to avoid that. And sometimes when they ran horns, they also ran that where they had two bigs up high, and he would just come off and attack the big. And you got to be able to, when he's coming at you, to stay in front of him. He squirted around us, which he's so good because he's so low to the ground with the ball.
And Coach, you may not have put much thought into it, but Will Wade, one of the younger coaches, second year, if you have thought, what do you think, I guess, of his development, kind of what he's doing at LSU so far?
It's unbelievable. I mean, he's really done a heck of a job in a quick amount of time. So, credit him. They're doing a great job, he and his staff.
Any other questions for Coach? All right, we'll see you guys Friday.